know where they're allowed, and make sure we provide a safe environment for the kids.
And I don't think I have any question that you're competent to make this happen.
Thank you.
And I think this is a concern for this board to think about, and Mr. Chen brought up a good question. The YMCA, United Way, Boys and Girls Club come to us, say, we want to put an event on. How do we address that? How do we say, this one can do it, but you can't do it? Do we put some criteria in place, Todd, that says they have to meet all these standards in order to do this? That's my question. And I think down the road, does it create any problem for us?
I would address that, Gene, by saying that, yes, there are standards. We talked about those standards last year, and I think those standards are in place. There's got to be a security plan. There's got to be a comprehensive plan for how we're going to handle it in a normal fashion, and then what we're going to do if, all the various what-ifs. And to the extent that each event is going to have its own unique characteristics, it'll be up to this board or whoever it is that's put in charge of saying yay or nay to adjudicate that.
Would Mr. Chen have any say in that? Because it impacts him more than anybody else.
What this board should certainly take his input, absolutely. At the end of the day, though, the businesses that run the FBOs they're lessers, and there's an extent to which they don't own the airport. They own the business that's occupying the FBO, and their consideration, their concerns are super important. But at the end of the day, I don't know that they have veto power over what goes on airport wide.
And I would say if that's fine for one, but if you say 5 events, that impacts them.
It does, and it does,
I think we have to look
and
at
to
that.
the extent that each event is willing to
I mean,
compensate
I
them.
don't think, number one, I think Chris has to be an integral part of any other group that wants to put one of these on. That's just what he does. And so there's nobody else that would be able to come to us, I don't think, that has the expertise to put one on, right, Chris? They would be going through you.
I feel my being a pilot gives me a unique insight as in addition to being a race director, but knowing the activities of an airport and the impact and stuff, I'm attuned to those concerns, and I know what's available to us to try to mitigate those any issues.
You know, we may do it one time, we get a track record, say, you know, this was very comfortable, we feel good about it, or it doesn't seem to work. And we'll know that, Chris, at the end of it.
That's true. I mean, that could be a criteria. Chris Mulling has to run it.
See how,
What happens if he gets run over by a bus? What do we do then?
I've got a good staff that's trained. But also, our goal here is to have a great event, have something that's super safe and is a positive influence, but most people don't even know that it occurred. By the time they wake up on Saturday morning, the airport's back to running normal. You know, it's business as usual, and everything's operational.
I love the idea that we're putting young youth in close contact to aviation, which you're right, Chris. They see it on TV. They have no concept of what a plane is, what a runway is, and early on it may spur some interest in it. So that part of it I love.
Anybody else?
What I'd say is, I hear what you're saying, Heiko, that at the end of the day, it's the county's property. Okay? I would like to make sure that we see this as a win-win with the FBO, with Chris, and with our decision on what it is we're going to go for. We're going to go forward with it or not. So I'd like to make sure that this is massaged and that everybody's on board. It may be a hiccup to begin with, but we need to be sure that everybody is comfortable with this because, as Gene said, and again, you never know. If it's a foggy day, the ceiling is low, you're not going to have much activity. If it's a beautiful day, you get all of those fair weather pilots out there, and James could have them coming in one after another. You never know.
You never know.
So I'd like to make sure whatever our decision is, that we take everybody's concerns into question and to be able to move forward.
I'm more than willing to sit down with James at any time and work out any concerns and things. I think there are hurdles, there's concerns that he may have, and I welcome the opportunity to address those things and make sure he's comfortable.
The Leeward Air Ranch crowd usually shows up on Saturday morning.
I'm sorry, what crowd?
The Leeward Air Ranch crew usually goes over to the restaurant there by the airport and for breakfast just about every Saturday morning. So
So we could reach out to them and let them know.
we need to
all
reach
folks
out
at
to
Leeward,
them
right,
to be sure they know the airport's closed.
right. Or just don't come in till 10.
Yeah, just come in later.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we don't want them not to come.
right.
Anybody have anything else for Mr. Moling? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Did you want this back?
James, anything else? Any more input?
I certainly don't want to drag too much time on just discuss this one item, and I don't want to be my position to be viewed as if I have the veto power, which I don't. I'm looking this as a precedent to a use of FAA licensed airport and the closure of it, and as what the criteria. At least we're going to have a FAA approval, right, on this, the FAA.
Right now, it's just a FDOT. I mean, I guess I can inquire with FAA. That would take a lot longer, but from my research,
That is
FDOT and our risk.
that is every previous effort we do. That's where the hiccup is. The FAA had a certain criteria to close the airport in the non-aviation related activity, and that probably need to be looked into in the first place. Again, Chris, I appreciate your offer. I said it again. It's not about the money. If there's any money coming to my pocket, I would donate back to you. Okay, that's not the money is not the issue. I'm looking at this. If it be granted as a one, and then there will be other equally wonderful activity will come here that say, the airport is cool. Runway is nice. I want to be on the runway. I want to close for a couple of hours or 1 hour. I just can't do it. So if we're looking at something, I want to do it, there's a 10, 20 reasons you can make it work. If we say we don't want to do it, there's equally 20 reasons not to do it. So I'm up to the end of my rope, and I just express my position on this. Thank you.
Thank you. I can't pull it up right now, but I know that we looked last year at the FAA policy on airport closure for non-aeronautic activities. And I'm sorry, I don't remember what it said. I can't pull it up on my computer right now for whatever reason. But the FAA does have a position on it, and they say as long as certain squares are filled, which from all appearances, this does fill those squares. The FAA is good with it. Just for the record. Members of the board, anything else to discuss with it? Anybody have anything they'd like to say about it? And is there any action you'd like to take at this point in time?
I would like to make a motion that we approve DRC Sports, provided we have the proper FAA requirements met, boxes checked, that the insurance requirements are strictly adhered to ensure both the FBO and the county are well taken care of in the event of an incident, and that Chris provides to Todd the details. Everything's got to be detailed out, especially when we were talking about the command post. Everything's got to be detailed out to ensure full compliance.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on, did you get all that, Hannah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Poor Andy.
Hopefully you can go back to the audio recording, yes, and write it all out. So the motion on the board, in essence, to approve this activity so long as everything's done right. Did I summarize that?
I have motion to approve DRC Sports as long as FAA and all insurance requirements are met and all details are given to the county.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And Chris, if you would not mind spending some time with James, if you guys can work together on this and see what's going to work out best, because ideally, Bristol Air Group will put up a booth there at the pool and say, come get a Discovery flight. You're 15 years old, come get a Discovery flight. And hopefully that'll turn into a dozen or more new students. And now that you've been on the runway on your bicycle, let's get on the runway in a tricycle with wings. And we'll take it from there. All right, thank you very much. Next.
Okay, Crystal Rivers, both shade hangers, the lighting for that is in pretty rough shape, so I'm going to be replacing that. More to follow. It's really a pretty cut and dry. Just replacing all the lighting in the shade hanger. That's it. Crystal Rivers paint, shade, and corporate hanger. So the number 1 shade hanger was painted a few years ago, so we're going to paint the second one, and then the corporate hanger that's south of that as well. Moving on to Inverness, same thing for the sheriff hangar and office. We do have quotes and work authorizations have been submitted, so that hopefully that work can start soon.
Todd, does the sheriff's office compensate us for rent for their office and hangar?
They do.
They do, okay.
They do. Last for new business, L3 Harris Scientific Testing. This company reached out to me, and they wanted to do some laser testing on a target. I know a little bit about lasers just from my previous job. I've got some information I can also talk about, and I'm indifferent either way, but I know that this is an opportunity to have some type of agreement with this company. What they need is that they need our runway or taxiway, preferably taxiway. They need a long, straight, and flat level field. What they would do is that they would fire a level 1 or level 2 laser. Those are not your lasers you would see in a movie or slicing anyone in half or anything like that. It's all just for like targeting, things like that. And that's what they would do. They would shoot a target every couple hundred feet and reset every 2,000 feet. They would test this equipment. Now that's been tested, it can go out. They're looking for a place to do that because right now where they're at, I can't remember where they're at now, but they need to move. So I asked them a few questions about it, and I didn't really want to go anywhere further unless I talked with the board first.
Does that require runway closure?
Yeah, I guess it would require runway closure. There would be a NOTAM, and my preference if this did go through, which would be they would work on more of like a graveyard shift, sometime 10 p.m., 5 a.m., something like that, do their testing, and because it's mobile, if something was to happen, they can move quickly.
How often do they plan on doing this?
This is not a daily or weekly thing. This is, it's not often. Quarterly. I think it would depend on the actual equipment. I'm trying to find the information, but I still have some other things I need to ask them. But before I even entertain this, I thought a few things. For instance, that would I need to file a 7460 with the FAA for a non-aviation activity? Of course, a NOTAM. What would that look like? And how do we, if we even had an agreement with them, what would the fee be? What's fair market? And how do you quantify that lease? So there's a few questions I still want to ask, but this was, to me, an unusual request. So I thought I'd ask the board.
Did they say specifically when they'd like to start?
No.
Anybody have any questions? I've got a series of questions I would like to for them to answer before moving forward with this. When, specifically, when would they like to start? What, how often, what sort of a schedule are they proposing to keep? And both time of day and frequency and so forth. And let's see exactly what it is that we have, what sort of an impact it would have on the airport on Wright Rudder. You know, the flight schools don't typically do very much training between 10 and 5 in the morning, but it is a lit airport, lit runway, so there's no reason that people can't be coming in the middle of the night. And again, this is something that who's going to be there monitoring the frequency in the event that there's an emergency? Emergency aircraft has to come in and land, you know, and we've all heard about people shooting lasers at airplanes in pilots' eyes. So lasers at airports is always something that raises the hackles of most pilots. So I think some more specific information from them. It'd be great if they could come here and give a presentation so that we could ask them these various questions that, you know, every time we ask a question, we get an answer, it raises more questions. So if they were here to provide those answers and to the follow-on questions, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Well, and I would like as well to have someone from the Emirates FBO to be here to provide their side of it as well, because I think it's critically important that when we're looking at considerations for these events, that we've got everybody on board, that they understand the nuances, and we've heard it from all the parties.
Understood.
Agreed. Okay. Anybody else? All right, moving on. Old business with Lakuchi Tech. Everybody, I think, did see, and thank you for your input, board members, on the letter that we put together, the letter of support for the aviation program, the A&P program, I should say, that we sent to the Board of County Commissioners. They have received this, Todd, do you know?
I think this is was on the agenda, but Colleen from WTC, she has this. She's in contact with commissioners and when the next, talking about a presentation to the board. I just don't have that date yet or what the status.
Whether the Board of Commissioners have received the letter that we wrote to them, the letter of support. So my proposal, my thought was, when I thought that this was going to be on this past Tuesday's agenda, was to attend the meeting and read this into the record. Since it wasn't on the agenda, I didn't. Their next meeting is January 26th, and I will be in Egypt.
27th.
27th, even better. That's my brother's birthday, you know. I'll be in Egypt, so does anybody have the time? Any board member have the time to take my place at the BOCC that day to read this letter into the record?
Well, I think it's important for us to get it on their agenda so that it is an item.
The idea was to not only have this letter, but that letter would follow with their presentation. And until that presentation, if it goes in front of the board, is scheduled, I cannot put this letter on there.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So let's see, when will their agenda come out, do you know?
Today's the last day for submittals to the agenda,
Mhm.
so sometime next week.
Okay, all right. Well, board members, if you would, stay in touch, and if anybody has the ability to attend that meeting, assuming that this gets on the agenda, that would be great.
What day is it?
That's January 27th.
And I can send out an email to you guys if it is gonna be on the 27th agenda, that way somebody knows.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes,
That'd be
please.
perfect.
So it's just to read the letter into the record.
Just to read the letter into the record.
I will do that.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else that's developing, I'll let you know.
Perfect. Okay, hangar status report, we have some. They're mostly full.
Correct? Any questions?
Questions? Okay, BOCC update. We had 4 of the seats on this board come up for reappointment. Charlie Carr and Carl Flanagan were both reappointed. And we will have 2 new board members as of next month, Ryan Noggle and Barry Simons. I congratulate you two. Thank you to Carl and Charlie for volunteering to continue on, and thank you guys for stepping up. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next month. Anything more to that? Okay. Major projects. No update on the Crystal River 927 extension.
Nope.
Crystal River fuel tank replacement.
We had a good meeting, Crystal River, and James was able to attend as well on, was that Tuesday? Monday, Tuesday? It was a great conversation with our contractor. We should be getting a new revised schedule next week, and that's going to let us know when the fuel farm is going to be down officially, and that lets James know the fuel situation, how we're going to manage this, and what trucks we need, and how to keep the fuel keep it going.
Okay.
Yeah.
James, I understand there's currently an issue with the fuel farm, correct, with the 100 low lead pump? Bit of a leak?
We had some actually for both type of fuels, Jet A
Oh, okay.
and the 100 load. It was very difficult for the past months. It was very difficult to get the service company mobilized during the holiday, just before the holiday, and parts supply availability, so on and so forth. But I'm working with Todd and try to get that fixed.
That is one of my chief priorities since we've had this meeting, is getting this turned around as quickly as we can. Waiting on a quote. I'm hoping to have that by the end of today. And as soon as I get that, get it going and get these repairs done as quickly as I can. The company identified has got staff on hand ready to go at a moment's notice.
Great. Thank you.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
I see something of this nature as a leak, as an environmental concern. Is there an action plan that you're authorized for whatever expenditure needs to take place so that those leaks are taken care of, so that it doesn't turn out into something more severe? You have that authority?
I mean, to call it a leak in your mind, it might, something's just pouring out a liquid, and it's not doing that. I would say more of a weep. It's James, can you confirm, is it a static or dynamic leak?
It's the condition, there's a leak on the pipe at a gap. We noticed the little seepage, so we shut it off from both ends.
Oh.
Yep.
It's not the condition, it's going to trigger the environmental. And then we had what you call those pads.
Like a pig mat?
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, it's contained. They shut it off. It's not up, and we're not operating any of that until this gets fixed, for sure.
Okay, that's good enough.
Anybody else?
It's within the confines of the existing basin, right?
Yes, it is, sir.
That's another concern.
Yep.
Okay. Crystal River Aegis Survey, we have an update.
All right. The survey flight was completed, and now it is under the photogrammetric obstruction analysis. Learned a new word today. It's under review with FAA, and you'll hear me say this again, that FAA is short-staffed, so things are taking longer than expected. I'm constantly talking with them or my consultants about this, and this happens to be one just waiting on the FAA.
Great, thank you. What exactly is a photogrammetric obstruction? Photogrammetric. That's a word? That really is a word?
That is a word. Please challenge me.
Excellent.
Not my area of expertise, but something to do with the ground and the aerial views of the airport and the surrounding areas, and what are obstructions, and identifying
Fair enough.
buildings and equipment.
And this is all to get the GPS approach to runway 9 to have LNAV, VNAV minimums again.
Yes, sir.
It's got LNAV minimums, just no VNAV minimums. Got
Sir.
it. Airfield lighting replacement at Crystal River, no update there.
Yep.
Okay. Inverness Business Park,
All right. So we've got all the permits to get started. We have our pre-construction meeting that is scheduled for the 28th of January.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. A lot of meetings going on. Everyone's coming back from the holidays, and we're all ready to go. That pre-construction meeting will be held here, and then shortly to follow that, we'll see when we can start. Of course, we're all anxious to get started, but making sure that Gopher Tortoise survey was completed as well, and before we start pushing dirt. More to follow with that. I know this is a big project, and I'm looking forward to getting this started.
great, thank you. Questions on that from anybody? Inverness Corporate Hangar, an update there.
Yes,
MOU
our,
has been
our-
signed?
Yeah, our MOU between all parties has been signed. That's been recorded. Now we're looking at some of the cost deltas with this hangar. What is going to be, that's going to be looked at. We're still at 60% design. So once we have that, we'll pass that information off to Livewire. And then if the parties are good, we move forward on a 90%. And then 100%, and then hopefully we can get out to bid as soon as we can.
Any idea what target date for completion?
Final completion? Summer of next year. It's tough to tell right now, but as things move along, it's a moving scale right now.
Inverness Master Plan and DBE, we have an update there.
We do. Again, about the FAA, it's been greater than 90 days since they've had our forecast, but working with them, hopefully get some more information from them when we do get it, and discussing those forecasts as well. We do have a meeting scheduled. I think it's this, or no, the 29th of January. 27th, 29th. That'll be our first TAC meeting for the master plan, which some people in this room should have received that email and that invite. And this is more of a kind of an introduction. We've gotten some information about forecasting, what are the requirements for this master plan, and things like that. And that's all to go over, and then the subsequent meetings after that. Yep. There should be 12 members on that committee, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yep.
No update on the Inverness Fire Station.
Nope.
There is an update on the AWAS for the two airports.
Yes, the work authorization has been submitted. And again, the idea is once we get that, get this out to bid and get this done.
Now, is this specifically, okay, the work authorization for Inverness was already done, already submitted, and now Crystal River is caught up.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Minor projects, airport signage.
Yeah, we do have an update. Hope by February we'll have something to present. Either something rough renderings for signage.
Great. Bless you. Air Force Research Lab, no updates. Electric meter retrofit, no updates.
I do have an update last minute. So we have all permits, and now it's scheduling with the contractor on to change out these meters for the T hangars.
Great, thank you. No presentations, no tower updates, no airport security. Fellow board members, anything else you'd like to discuss, bring forward to the table? I've got a couple of motions that I'd like to make. Both both George McDonald and Gene Davis will be stepping away from the board. Gene has been on here for all of 2 years and done exemplary work trying to manage a schedule between sitting on 4 different boards. Crazy. George McDonald has been on this board longer than I have. He's been since at least 2012,
This is
if not
far back
longer.
as our records go, I believe.
He's been vice chairman since 2020 and has done exemplary work. And I'd like to make a motion that the AAB thanks both members, Gene and George, and Hannah, if you don't mind putting in some specifics about their record, their years of service, for the contribution to aviation in Citrus County. I so move.
Second.
Mark seconds. Discussion? Anything you'd like to add, Gene? No. Want to pad your resume just a little bit in the resolution? No?
I don't need to pad it anymore. I don't want to go on any more boards.
All right.
It's been a pleasure working with everybody here. It's enlightened me a lot in the aviation industry. Even though I am a pilot, you sometimes get away from it. You don't understand some of the complexities that Todd deals with every day with the FAA and all. And it's been my honor to sit here with you guys and learn.
Okay. All right, I was just gonna say, one of the things that, since I've been involved in aviation, I've seen, Leesburg has done the 5K race, several years now. And it's similar to like what he's, there's a lot of things to go through to make it coordinate. And in my experience, because the standards are so high, to make something like this event go on, I think that's why you don't see a whole lot of them. It's just basically once a year because not many people have the resources. And like Chris can attest to how much he's had to go through to make this safe and effective, make sure that, all different organizations are addressed that have to be. There's such a high standard that it keeps just anybody from trying to be like, oh, I want to do that too. So I'm not too concerned about it, and I'm hoping that maybe make James feel a little bit less concerned about that. But Leesburg's been doing this for a while, and not this specifically, but similar concept, and they've been very successful with it. And it does do a great getting the community outreach, which is, I think, one of the things that I would like to see is more communities see that these airports are not just for pilots, they're for everybody. They are a public asset, and they are available to every taxpayer. And so I'm hoping that this could be a positive relationship. And of course, like our chapter being out there, the FBOs being out there, helping people see that, it's not just a triathlon, it's also an introduction to aviation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Cozy.
Good morning, or good afternoon. Will Cozy, Vice President to Barry at the EAA chapter, local business owner, and also a pilot too. What I would like to say is, and to James' point, or the point that the board has made as far as notifications, imagine yourself being a CFI, and you got a student that's nearing check ride, or they are scheduled for a check ride, because those get scheduled months in advance, and they're set to do it out at Crystal River. We need to make sure that we have communications, so when Chris and James get together, please consider the flight school, and that notification and how deep and wide it goes for notifications. That's one thing I wanted to say. The other one was my dear wife. I told you how much of how her brain works is amazing, and she is working with Colleen. In fact, when you mentioned about Colleen doing the presentation, she reached out to Colleen right now, so she's trying to make that communication. So she'll be in touch. Colleen will be in touch with you. But she came up with maybe something the board could consider in the next meeting. When we talk about these events like this, because after it goes to Crystal River, is it going to be at Inverness? There's a lot of roadway right there next to the airport, and then that's going to impact me as a pilot, not to mention the others that are here in representation as interest members of the public as well. So what about a lottery each year and 2 events max? So something for you to consider is how you make that criteria that the county could sign up for, as well as the local FBOs that the Aviation Advisory Board could actually take to the Board of Commission to consider. That it's not going to be 5, 10, a real impact to the FBOs that are there, but a lottery with a maximum number each year. So that was one of them. I would also like to ask that maybe in recognition for the new members, we recognizing the outgoing, let's take a picture of and recognize the new members coming into the board as well. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anybody else? That being said, our next meeting, February 12th, Thursday, 2 p.m. in this very room. And with that, I would like to again thank George and Jean for their service. And I will see you folks all next year, welcoming Barry and Ryan. And if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Charlie?
Second.
Mark? Discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much.